Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the MavPack server. I got a couple things that I want to do today, as I always do. But before we do, I'm going to give a little bit of a tour because I've been doing a little bit of redecorating around the place. I finally got my storage room done. This took this took an obscene amount of tin. These better storage chests, each block, this is 2 blocks they connected together. So each single block, it takes one block of the whatever material that you're going to be using. In my case, tin, because I had the most of it. Aside from copper, but copper would not have looked very good. So I went with tin because that was the... It looks a lot like the iron ones, but I had obviously a lot more tin than I do iron, and tin is relatively... well, it's not as widely used in as many recipes as iron, obviously, so tin was the obvious choice. So, anywho, each one of these blocks is like one... let's see if I can pull that up. Reinforced... Each one is, I'll just do this one, whatever. A block on the bottom, and then 4 ingots on the sides with some logs, and a chest in the center. And there's a lot. I have, I think there's, 7 or 8 down the sides, and another 7 or 8 on the back. I think it's 8. Is it 8? Yeah, it's 8. So 16, 16, and 16 of that recipe. And it put an awful damper on my tin reservoir. So actually, Faint he offered to help me out. I told him that I didn't. I just mentioned that my tin supply took a beating because of my storage room, and I wasn't even finished yet. I still had the back wall to do, and he said, "I've got X amount of tin or whatever." So he gave me a bunch. He gave me. I told him that I only needed about 16 more blocks, and he ended up giving me a whole stack of blocks because he had so much. So. He's been doing a lot of quarrying. That's why he's got so much. So anyways, I went out to spawn because that's where he left it. He dropped it off there. So got that all done. I don't really care for the whole design, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to keep tweaking this. It's not... I tried to make it look as similar to the rest of the base as I could, using the same materials and whatnot. I don't know. There's just something about it that I don't quite like. I may mess with it a little bit. But I kind of want to keep these lockers on the lower level because in the future, should I ever need to add more storage, I could get rid of these blocks and add another row of lockers up on top, and that would that's a lot of storage. I mean, each one of these is quite a bit, and I got a lot of them. So these are probably going to stay where they're at. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. This pillar here, the marble pillar, the tiles, it's, this is kind of this is almost exactly what it looks like in GoldenEye, with the exception of the raised part here on the roof. Not really sure what I want to do. I mean, I'm probably going to leave it like this for now. I'm just not completely sold on it yet. Anyway, moving on. What I did out here is I changed this bottom one to the partly weathered concrete block. Or not block, but the partly weathered concrete. So it kind of has like a little fade as it gets closer to the bottom section here. So it gives it a little bit more detail, so it's not quite so uniform all throughout. I think it looks a lot nicer this way. And then out here, I tell you what, the wand of equal trade, or the wand foci, I should say, of equal trade. Actually, before we go out there, I got something to talk about in here. Wand of equal trade is making this so much easier. It's basically just point at whatever you want to design, and it's done. It makes it so much easier. So you could build a skeleton like this, and not really have to worry about breaking all the blocks and replacing them all again. Looks like I got somebody at my door. I shall be right back. Alright, I have no idea who was at my door. I got up there to check it out, and there was nobody there. So it was some crazy kids knocking on my door and running away, or I just took too long to get up there. Maybe I didn't hear it the first couple of times, and they gave up and left by the time that I got up there. Who knows? So whatever, we're moving on. Anyways, I finally figured out kind of what I want to do with this room here. It's kind of been on my mind since I put it, well, since I started digging this area out. Didn't really have a purpose for this room because it's kind of a weird room. You can't really put any machines in it, because it's got big windows here and here, so and it's only one block thick, so it's not like I can hide anything in the walls, any conduits or redstone or for that matter. And it's this side here is kind of being taken up by this room here. It's not completely. It probably comes to about here. And then this side over here is not being used for anything. But that doesn't leave a whole lot for us to do anything with. The kind of what I thought I might do, and it's still entirely possible. I should say it's still possible to do, but this is not what I'm going to be doing with it. In the game, in GoldenEye, there was I could have set it up something like what they did, where there was a console here that opens that door, and there's a console here that opens that door. If I couldn't figure out anything else to do with this room, I suppose I could have done kind of like a storage room, but I already got the big storage room over there, so it's not like I needed another one. What we're gonna do, not today. This is not what I have planned for today. I just kind of wanted to kind of bring everybody up to speed with what I was thinking about. I'm going to build a tunnel that goes down to bedrock, because I have not done that with this new base yet. The old temporary base that we were at back in episode 1, I had a stairwell that went down to bedrock, but I have not gone to bedrock in this area yet. So I need meaning I don't have a strip mine yet. So that's what we're going to do with this room here. This is going to be kind of the elevator shaft that goes down to bedrock. And I figure it's kind of a central area, because there's all these the tunnels in the rooms that go up in this way, and it's about the same equal distance that goes to the rest of the stuff, like the bathroom and the storage room over that way. So this is kind of, it's a little off to one side, but for more or less, it's kind of a centralized area. So I figure this would be a nice perfect room for that purpose. And of course, I'm gonna doll it up a little bit, kind of, make it look nice. It's not just gonna be a hole that goes down to the bottom. But again, we're not gonna work on that today. That is gonna be a project for some other time. The last thing that I want to show before we get on to the remainder of this episode, and I'm trying not to keep these things too long-winded, because I know I tend to get like that from time to time. Actually, in most of my episodes, I get like that. Anyways, this is what I've been working on. I spent a couple hours on this. I got a little bit more decoration done in this room here, and I finally decided that this is definitely going to be my bee breeding and tree. This is my forestry room, more or less. It's gonna have everything that forestry does. So it's gonna do the butterflies, gonna do the tree breeding, and also the apiary. So that is going to be what this room does. Now, when I was putting it together, because this is proper height, referencing GoldenEye, this is about the same height as in that game. And it is, in fact, sectioned off into 4 sections, a lot like this. In the original game, there is kind of a central pillar that comes down, but that's going to eat up some floor space, and I don't really want that. So I just kind of made it like just a nice kind of a center thing. This wasn't planned, this crystal here in the center. I had the structure with the carpenter's blocks there. I kind of wanted it to come down to a point like that, and I didn't really know. It was originally going to be just like this stuff here, and then I seen this stuff here, the ice on the wall, and I'm like, that's not a bad idea. So I kind of went down there, got a couple pieces of ice, and blocked it up like that. And I actually have some recessed lights up in there. Oh, Faint got on. Or Faint. I didn't even know that he was on. Well, I guess he's not anymore. He must have got on when I was upstairs. So, oh yeah, there's lights up in there, so that kind of gives it like a glow, like some sort of a crystal. I may change it so you can't see those blocks, so it kind of looks more more like it's captive and not like it's sitting kind of on the surface of this. Those blocks that are inside, I will, kind of dig a hole upwards so it looks like it's a whole crystal that's kind of peeking down through the center, not just like sitting up there flush with it. Anywho, the problem is, and I got to thinking about this today while I was at work. I'm not entirely sure that this is enough height for a tree farm or a tree breeding, because I don't know if they're all short and stubby, like like your birch trees, like your small oak trees, stuff like that. Even the shorter spruce trees are kind of would probably fit in this room, because this is, I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 9-block space in here. Is it 9? I was thinking it was. Yeah, it is 9. Okay, I was thinking it was 10 for some reason. It must be 9. Hopefully that's enough room to grow these trees. If it's not, I kind of have an idea. I don't know. Some of the species, some of the breeds might be a little bit taller. If they are, and if I can't get them to grow normal height, what I may do is I'll do one of two things. I'll recess pockets, which is kind of what I wanted to do anyways, to give the ceiling a little bit more texture, is to have kind of like a recessed pocket. I can't remember what they call that. Vaulted ceilings. That's what I'm going for. I wanted a little bit of a recess here in the center to give it something to break up the monotony. I was either going to do that, or I could recess the whole thing. And now I don't want to raise the roof of this anymore, because this took a lot of work. I mean, this was a lot of carpenter blocking. And like I said, I was down here for a couple hours working on this room. And to move the roof up would essentially erase everything, because everything from here up would have to be redone. And from here down is really nothing fancy at all. It's just the slopes on the side of a block that sticks out. So we're not going to be raising the whole roof. What I'll do is I'll probably cut it maybe somewhere in the center, step it up a couple, and then have this whole section move up a couple blocks and grow the taller trees in the center. That's a possibility too. Not sure what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it for now, hoping that this is good enough. Last note, obviously this is scaffolding. I don't know. I don't think I should have had to say that, but just in case I do, this is not staying here. This is just so I can work on the room. Excuse me. This here is that ash stone. The more and more I use this ash stone, which I'm getting from the volcano that's right next to me, is the more that I like it. It's just a perfect shade of charcoal gray that contrasts nicely to the whiter tones of, because this here is, I believe, the chiseled cobblestone, the big, huge tile cobblestone, and it's awfully white. And even against the normal stone, it's still relatively dark. I mean, it's not dark. I kind of wanted to go a little bit darker. I may still end up replacing it with maybe some abyssal, maybe even the blocks, not the stone, but the block too. I thought about doing that, but it might be too much of the square pattern. I know I said that back in my old solo world, that sometimes that was a problem, or it would be just squares everywhere. This offers kind of a nice contrast. So it'll probably stay like this, because it's classy. I like it. It's nice. But I may switch it out for darker if I ever get tired of it, because that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted it to be a lot darker, but I had the gray stone on hand, or the ash stone. So that is what I used. Oops, a little bit of I probably should have restarted my computer before I started recording, but I did not. So we're just going to have to live with that for now, because I have an opportunity. I came home from work today to an empty house, so I don't know where the family is at, but I'm using this opportunity to get some recording time in, because I don't often get a chance to record. There's that music again. Music does it to me every time. Not after a restart, though. Hang on. All right, I'm going to make a cut here, because this is getting sloppy. Okay, my computer seems to be all done thinking about whatever it was thinking about. Something else that I have done since the last episode that I forgot to mention, these two, I did put repair one on both my boots and my goggles. I got enough of the, let's see, what was it? Oh, the Salus Mundus, that's right. I needed the Wisp Essence. So I got a bunch of that. I think I made like a half a stack of that or something like that. Close to it. Maybe it was like 20-something pieces. Anyways, so I have enough to, or I had enough to put repair on both my goggles and my boots. And by the time that I had repaired these were, or I should say, put the enchantment on them, they were down to like, I don't know, 20, 30 durability of both of them. Well, the boots had a little bit more because I had them, I didn't have them as long as the goggles, but that, it repaired pretty quickly. Even with just repair one on it, it crept up. It was probably, I don't know, one durability every, probably 30 seconds or something like that. Maybe a little bit faster than that. Hard to say, but it happened pretty quickly. Other things that I got going on since last episode is I now have my sword back. This is the same build that I built in my solo world. It is the Manilium blade with the paper guard and a thaumic handle, the thaumium handle. And I actually made two of them. One is a cutlass, and the other one is I made a longsword just in case I want to. I'm going to use the cutlass for a while because I liked the cutlass. If the cutlass had more base damage than the longsword, which I thought that they did. They don't. I thought they did, but they're the same. Then I would definitely be using the cutlass hands down. But I find that they're the same damage, so I can actually use a longsword if I want to. I had to look into it because I couldn't remember what all other special abilities that the cutlass has. I knew about the haste, or was it haste? No, it was a speed. When you successful block, you get a speed boost for a couple seconds. And I know the difference is this one blocks, and the other one is the lunge type. Now, the lunge type is what I like about the longswords. It gives an extra, like a lot of extra block, especially when you combine it with the boots, the natural jump boost on the boots. With the longsword, you get some serious height on your jumps. If you charge it and time it just right, you can clear a mountain. It's crazy. I may go back to that because it's nice to have. It just depends on what kind of what I get into later, because I might end up getting into the modular power suits, which has you can put some crazy jump jump boost things installed on them, and you can get some crazy height out of them. I don't really know offhand what it is, but so anywho, I'm gonna go with the cutlass for now, and if I don't like it, if I miss the longsword too much, then I'll build another one. And probably give this one to probably to my wife or something like that, or maybe I'll put it up for as a prize for something. I don't really know. But I got I used all I put moss on it. I didn't put the flux on it. I like flux on my tools, which I'll get into these here in a second. I like flux on my tools because I use them far more. I've never run into a situation where I use the sword more than the moss can keep up with it. The picks and hammers and whatnot, definitely. If you get into really, really fast tools, the moss just can't keep up with it, and you end up having to repair them anyways, or using a different tool while the other one repairs itself. So I like the flux on it because you can recharge them instantly. For the swords, for weapons, I like to put the moss on it because it's never, I never use it more than it can keep up with. I've never seen it go past one tick before. And you're not constantly using your sword, so I feel it's good enough. But I also, I reserved a spot for I only got 18 of the lapis on there because I don't have enough to max it out. I just used that to reserve a spot for it, and then I put the rest on sharpness. So I got that. I used the rest of the, I think, what is it? 3 how many modifiers were on this? 3, it was 4 or 5? 4? Probably 4. Yeah, probably 4. So I used 2 on quartz. Did I? or 3 on quartz. That number looks a little... I think it's 76 per modifier. So I probably used... Maybe it's 74. I don't remember. Maybe I used 3 on sharpness. Anywho, I got an 18. I am babbling on about nothing. So I got an 18 damage sword. That's what that is. Okay, and then I got I made my pick again, and I got this is a little bit different. I haven't used one of these. This is a Matic or Mattock, however you want to pronounce it. But it is the shovel and the axe and the hoe all combined into one. And I thought this would be perfect as a multi-tool for when I don't need a pick. So I don't have an inventory full of junk. And there's been so many times where I've needed a hoe and didn't have one on me. I'd have to run back inside, get a hoe, because those things don't last very long. But I don't use them enough to warrant using anything better than stone on them, because I always happen to have stone and sticks on me. So it's nice to have it in the tool itself. It's gonna be kind of a time saver, and it works really, really fast on dirt. You can see it it's pretty much instant break dirt. Something that I wasn't really anticipating. Now I haven't tried this on sand yet, but on gravel, it doesn't work. Let's see if I can find some. I think there's sand over here. I haven't tried this yet. Is there? Yeah, there's some that doesn't have anything growing on them. Nope. See, I still have to. It's no different than if I was to use it barehanded. So that's disappointing. The speed boost, or the tool only natively looks at, or I should say sees, dirt. And that kind of sucks, because I thought this was going to be a good replacement for my shovel. And it appears that it is not. It just does dirt. That's disappointing. So I got this super nice... It's all cobalt, by the way. Same thing with the well, this is manilium, but these two are cobalt heads with the thermic handle and the paper binding. Well, this doesn't have a binding, but this does. I need to get some more. I need to build a hammer, but I need to go back to the Nether because I did not have enough cobalt. I barely found enough cobalt to have what I have. So I need to make another trip and do that. Okay, moving on. What I want to do today before I run out of episode is get a quarry going, because I need... I've never messed with one of these, and I kind of want to. Well, I do want to. Never messed with one, so that's what we're going to do today. I built one. Fairly expensive. They're like, I think, 13 diamond or something like that. They take 2 diamond gears and a diamond pick. I think, among some other things. Some gold or something. Yeah, some gold. So lots of, I mean, it's an expensive toy, but it's a very powerful tool. So what we're gonna do is there anybody on? No. So we're gonna sleep. We're gonna sleep through, sleep the night away here, before we get started. Come on. Really should have restarted my computer. It's getting all stupid again. Come on. Okay. And it does this thing sometimes. Good? Okay, we're good. So I actually have an area, because I don't like the way that quarries scar the land. I mean, they make a mess of things. You have these big ugly holes all over the place. I was over at Faint's place, and he's got them all over the place. He's got these giant holes all over his base, and even in the Nether, because I moved, I have a portal. You didn't see it because it's kind of in the area that's unfinished at the moment. It's past the all the laboratory area, and it's into kind of next to where the final big room is. I made it on top of the obsidian that was formed there from some water hit some lava naturally. So there was a big obsidian lake, and I made it on top of that because I knew I was going to have to clear it anyways. I might as well just put it there. And it's kind of out of the way, so I don't have to hear it. I got into the Nether, and not five blocks in front of me is this gigantic hole. I mean, huge hole. It's probably probably a 20 by 20 hole that he quarried. And I asked him about it. He's like, yeah, that was me. So he's making a mess with it. I shouldn't have. I thought about changing the. Actually, I want to take a boat. Let's take a boat. Do I have one ready? No, I don't have one ready. We'll just go like this. I thought about making the quarry not go so deep, because you can change the configs how deep that you want it to dig. By default, it's the full depth. It's full 256, but you can change it to whatever. You can also change it so that way it's only placeable one time, and after that it breaks, which is a little bit. If it had uses, like if it had a number of uses, like you can place it 5 times, then I'd probably go for that. But once is not enough at all, because there's you might not be able to, or might not even get anything. So we left it alone. It's the way it normally is. You can place it as many times as you want, and it digs the whole height. Wow, 2 nodes right next to each other. I don't think seen those before. Huh. I'll have to check those out. I don't think nodes can spawn after it's generated. Interesting. But this is the spot it's coming up here. There should be a mountain. That mountain island that I was talking about. A long time. Oh, actually, way back in the first second episode, when I was going back to the old temp hut. But I kind of talked about this a little bit, and I decided this would be a perfect place because it's kind of out of view. It's untouched, and it goes way, way up high in the air. So that way, nobody can really see it. So I can dig up as much of it as I want to, and not really gonna be able to see it from just walking around. So I'm not gonna be leaving big stupid holes all over the place. So anyways, I'm going to get up this mountain here, and I will resume once I get to the top. Okay, well, a little bit of a gap here. What happened is, while I was climbing the mountain to get up here, my family came home and started making a bunch of noise, as they typically do while they're here. So instead of getting off, I obviously couldn't record anymore, so I kept playing because I wanted to get this set up. And so I can mess around with it, because I was really excited to do so. And it took me a while to figure out all the little idiosyncrasies that come along with the quarry. And what I mean by that is I forgot that these are also chunk loaders, that they load the chunks that they are in, so that way they can continue working when you're not in the area. They load. I don't know if they load one block this way, or if it's like a perimeter kind of a thing. I know this is clearly loaded. I don't know how much further out from the frame that it loads, but I know by setting it down, I think it's an 8x8 that it by default. I mean, you can make it bigger by using markers, but by default it'll do an 8x8 area. So this was my first hole right here, and it went all the way down to bedrock. It finished. It took me a long time. I kept running out of juice. I underestimated how much power that these things consume, and it's like whoa, that's a lot of power. So I kept having to go back and forth to get my batteries, and then I'm like, well, I need a way to. Well, first what I did is I brought my dynamo out, my oil dynamo, or I should say my compression dynamo, that runs on oil, and it couldn't keep up. So I decided that I needed to make another one, and these steam dynamos are pretty cheap, and I figure I could use, because oil is not it's not a resource that I can find up here. It's and I didn't feel like going and finding more somewhere else, so I figured, why not just make a steam dynamo and use, because it uses furnace fuel, and you can put anything that you can burn in a furnace into it, and it will make steam, which makes energy, and I'll power it that way. So I made 2 of those, set it up. And then I got to thinking I should probably hook it up to some sort of a smelting system that I could just put wood in. I'll use the trees around here, make charcoal that way. That feeds the dynamos and make power make power like that. And then I got to thinking, well, I might as well automate it as long as I'm doing that. And I kind of inadvertently, I kept going back and forth, add machine. I'd go back, I'd get an idea, I'd go back to base, make a machine come out and put it down, and then I'd figure something else out. Then I'd go back and make another machine, come back and put it down and figure something else out. And it eventually got to this. And what this is I inadvertently found an infinite source of power, an infinite power regeneration. And this is probably what I'm going to be using as a main power source instead of the compression engine that I've been using. Because this is a lot, like, I don't have to do anything. It just grows trees, converts it into charcoal. What I have is these, ignore the fertilizer. At first I was using, the first time that I set this up, set the planter, because there's a planter underneath here, I was using oak, and those not only didn't grow fast enough, but they also didn't grow tall enough. So what I was trying to do was get them to force grow faster, and so that way I can get more wood. Because what it was doing, it was running out of wood, and then the dynamos would shut down, and then my quarry would shut down, and so I decided, I needed to get a different tree that grows taller, and what I ended up using was these trees here, the trees that were already up on the mountain. These are pines, I think. Yeah, pine. And they grow really fast. I didn't realize that they grew as fast as they do, which is kind of a bonus because it helps a lot. So I don't even use the fertilizer anymore. It's empty. It's not, I mean, it's still hooked up, but there's nothing in it. It doesn't do anything. In fact, I think I have it off at the moment. So these have been growing. I got the harvester off because it was hard to record. It was so distracting with these things constantly being cut down. And so I had to turn it off so I can concentrate on recording. So that's what's feeding, well, it goes into this chest here, all the wood, and then the wood from that is piped into the furnace, and that is, round robin into the two steam dynamos here, and then the power from that is fed underneath there, and it splits off between the fertilizer, the planter, and the harvester, and actually the sludge boiler too, because I didn't realize that as a byproduct it makes sludge, and that's what this reservoir here is. And so I had to go back again, make a sludge boiler to boil off the sludge, and I did not know that sludge makes all this stuff. It makes clay, and I was super excited to see that. It makes clay, it makes dirt, it makes all the stuff that you see in here is what it makes. Oh, it even got some mycelium in here. That is awesome. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to start picking up the sludge lakes that you see every once in a while in natural generation. So I'm going to start sucking those up, so that way I can convert it to clay, because I'm always running out of clay. Whether it be for Thaumcraft vial or the files, or for tinker stuff, for more tinkers, the smelted bricks. Back to what I was getting at with all the little idiosyncrasies that come along with the quarry here. The chunk that it was loading, actually this hole here, the first hole that I did, it is within one chunk. It only loaded one chunk because I only wanted it to load one, so that way it didn't cause any unnecessary lag. Like, I didn't know how much lag these things generate, so I didn't want it to be too much. You know, I'm on a server, so I gotta be mindful of that stuff. Come to find out that it's not that bad. So what I was doing is I would go to my base and screw around in there for a while this thing was running. And what I originally had is the quarry was set. It was somewhere in this area here, one of these two blocks. And then I had my item ducts come off of it in this direction here, and this is where my bank of chest was. Now, what I didn't know is that for some reason it can't, if it's in an unloaded chunk, it stops, like it tries to pass an item from a loaded chunk to an unloaded chunk, and that's what it was doing. And I wasn't getting any items. Like as soon as this chunk or this area was unloaded, it would continue to dig, but any items that it dug up would be lost because they were going into nowhere. So I would come back with relatively empty chests. I wasn't picking up anything aside from just dirt and cobble and your occasional ore, surface ore. I didn't really get anything below or anything like redstone or gold or lapis, anything that spawns below 32 or 40 or whatever it is. I wasn't getting any of it. And I thought, well, maybe I just got unlucky because it's kind of a small area. Maybe I just didn't get anything until I actually went down there and kind of checked things out. That's what this pillar here is. There's basalt down there. Basalt is everywhere down at bedrock level. I think it spawns like 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 or something like that. But there is always basalt right on bedrock, and I know for a fact that I should have picked it up. It should have showed up in these chests, and they didn't. I didn't realize that's what was happening. That it was going into an unloaded chunk and then being lost. So that's why I moved it. When I moved it to this area over here, I had the chest all along the same plane as this here, so that way they're in the loaded chunk, and it worked just fine. They filled up the inventory just like they should have. The other thing is I didn't realize that these consume power even when they're not working. Like, that's why I have it unhooked right now, because it actually, I'll go ahead and hook it up. Just sitting here not doing anything, it starts sucking it down pretty quickly, I might add. So that's why I have it unhooked. But this here, going back to my setup, this is what I'm going to be doing in the base. Or not quite so compact, it'll be a little more elaborate than this. This was just kind of a temporary thing that I set up. But I mean, you can see how efficient it is. Everything's backed up. I got all three of my batteries completely charged. Oops, they're all fully charged. Everything is, even the dynamos are getting backed up. All the charcoal's backed up. I got logs for days in here. So it's a fairly efficient setup. I'm probably gonna, I'm going to set up probably that room that's right across from. Oh no. I'll be setting this stuff up in the forestry room, a little section there for power production. I might as well do it. They probably won't use the pine trees because that's way taller than the room is, but I'll figure something out. So anyways, that is going to do it for today. I talked way too long about nothing most of the time. So I apologize if I bored you to death, but that is the way that it goes. You know how I get a little long-winded sometimes. I just always have so much to talk about. But it is all done for today. I got my quarry set up. Probably gonna take it all down because it doesn't need to be up here anymore. I might even do. Oh, you know what I want to do? What I want to do is I want to make some deep storage before I do any more quarrying. I want to make some deep storage units for dirt and for cobble, because those plug up these chests like you wouldn't believe. If you've ever used a quarry before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You end up with 4 or 5 chests full of cobble and about half a chest full of other things. So before I do any more quarrying, I'm going to look into getting. Well, that's weird. What are you doing over here? That is strange. I don't know why, because that's the arm that goes back and forth. I don't know why it appeared over here. Anyways, yeah. So before I do that, I'm gonna look into deep storage, because I kind of wanted a couple deep storage units. Anyways, gonna get into that some other time. So, thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope it wasn't too long and boring, as I am prone to doing. I do love my long explanations, so I will see you all the next time around.